So, uh, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Slap in VR, so called because I am your host, Vincent Rodriguez, and here we talk all things sports, life, and people. Today, I am honored to have a very, very special guest. Not only is he the starting tackle for the Boise State Broncos, my favorite team, but he's also an alumni of the college I went to. I actually went to go Mounties, Mount San Antonio College. But
Yeah.
today, I'm just but today I'm thrilled to have as my guest Mr. Daylon Metoyer. Welcome to the show,
Yes.
sir.
What's going on? Thank you. Thank you.
So, how you doing? I'm sure you've had a busy week. Not even just ramping up to the season coming up, but you just had the launch party for the Pac-12 going on. How was all those type of festivities?
From what I've heard, it was good. Actually, this week we had they kind of let the players cut loose. You know what I'm saying? We had our break this week. So everybody's kind of just like hanging back with their families. Everybody's back at home, hanging out. The launch party though I heard was pretty good. I believe it was all mainly coaches that were there. I don't think a lot of the players were there, but I think it was mainly coaches. But I heard it went really well. So
You excited about that transition heading over to a new
uh,
conference?
so excited, man! So excited. It's always been a dream to play in the Pac-12 for sure. I love the Pac-12.
So I guess we'll just start at the beginning here. So, you're coming from the high desert and everything there. At Oak Hills High School. What was
Yep.
that? What was kind of playing in that environment? Kind of like playing in that kind of little more isolated area. You have to take the 15 to even get up there. It's kind of out of the way. What was that kind of experience like playing out there?
Yeah, so I lived in Hesperia, so I lived up the hill already, but playing in high school was kind of just for me was just like kind of figuring out where I was and where I was trying to go with football. It was kind of more of like a laid back thing for me. I wasn't as like serious about it. Like I remember my freshman and sophomore year, I was kind of just playing football just to be with all my friends that I played with in youth ball. We all went to the same high school, so I was trying to, just trying to play with them, have fun with them, play football with them. And then my junior and senior year kind of started to like, okay, like I think football is kind of where I want to go. Started to get a little bit of recognition. Got a couple small offers out of high school, a couple D3s, and I think it was an NAIA. And then that's when Coach Ramirez hit me up. Coach Phil, he's O-line coach at Mount Sac. He hit me up and said, "Hey, come on, let's go do this thing." And you know what I'm saying? And I took it off over there to Mount Sac, and that's kind of where things started to ramp up for me.
So, for a few years there, you had probably one of the better experiences playing football because not only did you finish your senior year of high school 9-2, you immediately go to Mount Sac, you go 9-2 there, make it to the playoffs. 10 and
Yeah.
2 in the year after that, and the year you transfer over to Boise, you guys end up making it all the way to the Fiesta Bowl. So you've had a pretty good few years of football there heading in.
Football, yeah. Yeah, I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed for sure to be a part of amazing teams. Good group of guys both years, both schools. So
So what was that transition like heading over into Mount Sac, and what when Coach Martinez, the O-line coach, reached out to you, and I'm sure Coach Bob had something there to kind of say, like, what was that kind of experience like? Getting you in onto campus and kind of experiencing that for the first time.
it was a lifestyle change for sure. As like high school, you're kind of like a little bit more structured. I want to say you kind of like get told where to go, what to do. In college is completely different, especially like with school, man. It's like it's all on you. So that was for sure a little bit of a change for me, even though, I'm not a bad student or anything. It's just I wasn't like as used to like the looseness of college, what I'm saying, kind of being able to make your own choices and do what you want to do. So as far as school, like that was the biggest change. And then college and the football, of course, like the competition piece of it ramped up tremendously. You know what I'm saying? Obviously from high school. I'm playing with guys who are pretty good. You know what I'm saying? They're pretty good group of guys. And each year, even like up until now, it's just steadily increases. So that kind of forces you to increase as well and keep building, kind of puts a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. So
So, during that transition into the JUCO route, what would you say are some of the staples or fundamentals that go along with a Coach Ramirez offensive line?
I want to say with Coach Ramirez is a big technique piece. As long as with the of course, you know what I'm saying, offensive lineman, we definitely have to be very technically sound. But I also want to say with him, it's a little bit more of a mentality piece as well. I feel like he was the kind of the bigger the mentality guy for our O line coaches. We had two. We had Coach Ramirez and we had Coach B. They were kind of two different styles of coaches, but which we needed, and it kind of helped me grow tremendously. Like I said, Coach Ramirez, he was more of the mentality and like the oomph guy, you know what I mean? And then Coach V, he was more so like the very technically like sound, the dialed in, like trying to get our technique going. Coach Ramirez did a great job at that as well. It's just they kind of had their split, you know.
So, what would you say are some of the core fundamentals of playing tackle in general?
For me, I think a few of the core fundamentals for playing tackle would be feet. Your feet have to be dialed. You're out on an island every play. You know what I'm saying? You're out by yourself every play for the most part. So feet for sure is probably go number one. Your eyes for sure. Eyes have to be dialed in when you're playing O line in general, not just at tackle. So I say feet, eyes, and I think pad level is a big thing too. Pad level, which is still something I'm working on to this day. Like it doesn't just, it's something that's it's so detrimental to playing offensive line, but it's a very, I feel like it's a very tough thing to truly like master. Pad level is it's kind of tough to master that. But yeah, that's something that's very detrimental to playing O line. I think those three.
So, kind of walk me through playing football on the JUCO level because that's kind of something it's something that's always been around, but it's starting to come more prevalent now in college football. You have a lot of people starting out on the JUCO route and heading off into the bigger FBS schools. So there's it's popular, but it's not really something that's really like well known or documented, other than Last Chance U. But that's not every JUCO is like that. So, kind of walk me through your experience playing for Mount Sac. What was that kind of like?
My experience playing Mount Sac, I want to be honest, it was a grind, bro. It was honestly a little bit of a grind for sure. Like I was still living in Hesperia. Both years I was playing for Mount Sac. I remember there was a summer I did move down for just a summer, but it didn't work out. But it was a grind. So me getting up for 6 a.m. workouts, I had to get up around 3:30 to 4 o'clock to drive down, and you know what I'm saying, still be with traffic. So that was a big struggle for me. And as far as like just being at the college, it was football is a grind in general. You know what I'm saying? There's not really much way to go around that. Like the football is a grind. That's something that we all sign up for though. But um, JUCO is its own thing, and I feel like all the JUCO guys can kind of attest to that. Is you're not really getting paid. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of on your own a little bit financially, so it's you kind of got to figure out a way to get there, and then if you can get there, then it'll pay off big time. It obviously did for me. So yeah,
So it's kind of funny. I was looking back on it, and it's kind of interesting how our journeys kind of like run parallel to each other a little bit.
yeah.
Because as you were leaving the year you were heading into Mount Sac in the 2022-2023 season, that was the first year I actually got to Boise because to go see my
Oh,
first
really?
game there, and
That's
then
awesome.
I got to see you play on alumni night actually in one of the games I have to ask you about because it's legendary. So I just have to show you here.
Sure.
So this was the first game I took my mom to. I took her to alumni night, and we see these people coming onto the field, and I see a number 78 right there walking onto the field.
Yeah.
And the reason why I mentioned this game, the alumni game, is because this game is legendary for the fact that this is the score I took of a picture at halftime when we left the game. So you guys played Orange Coast College and ended up winning
Oh
this
yeah.
game
Yeah.
s- by 59 points.
Yeah,
So
man.
I just have to ask you about that. Like, this is the box score. What was that kind of like, just having that kind of a game, winning 72-13 in front of all these people who came by who were, fans and alumni of the college?
Yeah, man, it was a mentality thing for us, I think, as a team. That was like our big piece going into it. Kind of going into the game, you kind of know, you kind of have that feeling like who's the better team. You know what I'm saying? You guys, we as a team, we knew that we were the better team. Just knew we wanted to go out and show it. So it was a big mentality piece for us, a big mentality staple. Like, yeah, we're gonna go and we're gonna go run it up. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna run up a score, and you know what I'm saying, that kind of set the tone for the rest of the season at that point. So yeah, it was a fun game though, really fun game to be a part of. I know the guys had a lot of fun that night. So
I mean, that was just a lot of fun to watch. So
yeah,
that ended up being like one of the first games I got to see, from Outsac, which is where I went to school. And then on top of that, the year after that, you end up transferring over to Boise State.
yeah.
What was that kind of transition like? What was that kind of process like? And how did all that kind of get started? Because you did have some offers from some other pretty decent FBS teams.
Yeah, yeah. Another big culture shock as well. Like I feel like it's just culture shock after culture shock, man. With football, transferring from high school to junior college, and then from junior college now to Boise. Like I feel like it's a big culture shock for sure. When I first got here, so we do this thing. I will always talk about this and harp on this. We do this thing. It's called decks. So every Friday in summer, the football team run decks, and I've never like I'm first getting here. I get here in summer, and that's when I first got here. My first day was it was in June. My first day we had decks, and we had 13. Now the decks are you've been there, Vinny, the top part of the stadium, like the very top part. So we go run up the
Yeah.
decks each day, and it's very tough. It's very tough. It's a very mentally challenging task, and I had to go do 13 decks my first day here. So that was probably that kinda, like, woke me up a little bit, like, "Oh, we're here. Hello," you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's just a big culture shock. I mean, like, the level of intensity I feel like is a lot higher, here versus junior college, and everything and it's a business and all in all, like, I feel like if you're not producing, if you're not doing your part, then, you know what I'm saying, you get fired, you know what I'm saying? That's how it work in the real world, and that's how it works here, and then I feel like Coach D does a really good job at, preparing us for that, you know what I'm saying? He shows us, like, the staples of life and how to go on not only on the field, but off the field as well.
So that's actually a pretty good transition now that we look at it, since when you came into Boise State, that was in the middle of basically one of the greatest seasons to so far, at least in modern memory of Boise State history. But
Yeah.
you're coming into that with that brand new transition, from Coach D over from Coach Avalos. So what was that kind of transition like in there? Like coming in at that time when there was just this going to be this brand new culture change.
For me, I feel like it was gonna be it wasn't like I don't think it would have been as different for me. I feel like because I was coming into a new culture regardless. But from the guys that are on the team with Coach Avalos, I heard it was definitely a bigger change that they needed from when Coach D stepped in. Like it was a change that they needed, is what I got the gist of. So, like I said, I didn't really know Coach Avalos or anything, but I'm very happy to have Coach D for sure.
So let's kind of walk through that 2024 season. So basically, you come in. That's your first year on campus, and immediately out the gate, you start off with a thriller against Georgia Southern, and then the season goes on, and there's Ashton's doing his thing, being legendary,
Of
and
course, yeah,
then you and I meet up for the first time at the UNLV game, which is
yeah,
another fantastic game. And the week
yeah.
after that, you actually make your first start against San Diego State. So what
Yes.
was that kind of like, making your first start against a conference opponent?
It was amazing, man. As you could tell, the whole first half of that season, I didn't really see the field much. So I was super juiced up, super excited to get on the field. And when I got on the field, I kind of just, you know what I'm saying, was just playing, you know what I'm saying? Just wasn't trying to think too much. I feel like that's a big problem with me. I'm a little bit of an overthinker sometimes, and that's where I'm trying to get away from. But, just wasn't in that game. I feel like I just wasn't thinking too much, you know what I'm saying? I was just going with the flow, you know what I'm saying, playing, let my play style speak for me. So that was a really fun game for me. I really enjoyed it, and obviously my first career start, so it was dope.
So what was that kind of like, having that front row seat to, one of the top rushing seasons of all time in college football? Like what's going through your mind when you're setting that edge, and then all of a sudden you look over and then you just see Ashton blazing down the field and stiff arming a guy in the face?
It was almost funny every play, man. You didn't really have to block too much for that guy, bro. He kind of just did his own thing and it worked out. But no, it was great. It was great to see. It was really great to see. Ashton's a great dude, man. He's a great running back for sure. And then when he was here with us, like we knew all we had to do was give him the holes, and that's all we did. You know what I'm saying? We just gave him the time and the space to work and do his thing, and as you can see, it paid off pretty well. So it was fun.
So kind of going through that whole season, what was the overall kind of message or mentality that that team have that Coach D was trying to instill in his first full season as the coach?
He was trying. I feel like for me, what I got from it, he was kind of trying to just set the tone up what he wanted to do for the next what we wanted to do for the next few years. For Coach D, it's always a big mentality thing. Like that's what we harp on. That's what he harps on is mentality and growing and continuously growing and growing and growing. So um I think mentality was probably like the biggest piece that he was trying to show that season.
So that season culminates into, the Fiesta Bowl. Walk
Mm.
me through that kind of experience because not only is that your first bowl game, it's also your first FBS playoffs. It's also, the Fiesta Bowl being one of the premier, legendary games, not only in college football, but also in Boise State history. Like, what was that kind of experience like going into that bowl week and then heading into that game?
It was surreal, man. It was so cool. It was so cool. I loved it so much. Loved every second of it. And not only just being able to be there, but actually getting like, what I'm saying, some reps and some playing time and having like a positive impact for the team, for the game, was amazing. Obviously it didn't turn out the way we wanted, but um it was great, man. I was my first year in college football, I made it to the playoffs. Like, what I'm saying, what wish we could have won the playoffs, of course, what I'm saying, but what more could you have asked for? What I'm saying? I'm playing against top competition, top level competition, and that my first year, that was a big like, oof, okay, like come on, like we're here, what I'm saying? Let's pick it up. Kind of like in a good way though. So it was really fun, man. I was really excited. Like I said, it was a little surreal too. So
So in that first year, what are kind of the similar to at Mount Sac, what are kind of the fundamental aspects of running a Coach Keen style offensive line?
Coach King, yeah, he's a very big he reminds me a lot of Coach Ramirez and what I was saying earlier about how he's more of like the big mentality guy. Like Coach King, he's like he harps on our mentality a lot as offensive linemen and what's our standard as an offensive line room. Like that's a big thing that he talks about often. Now, there's obviously the fundamental piece, the technique piece that goes along to it, which he does a phenomenal job of, which shows throughout my play. Like from then to now, like I feel like my technique and everything has been dialed in tremendously. I see a lot of improvements from when I first got here to now. So yeah, I think he harps on our mentality as an O line in general. That's like the biggest piece that I take away from Coach King.
So one of my previous guests that I had, he's currently a linebacker at New Mexico. And so I asked him from his perspective, like what he's looking at when he's kind of like trying to diagnose an offense. He said he's kind of looking at the triangle, the set of the guards and that type of positioning. As a tackle, what do you look at when you're kind of surveying the defense and what kind of alignments or schemes are you looking at?
What I'm looking at as a tackle was the safeties. Every play, that's kind of like what I'm reading because the safeties are majority of the time the telltale of what's happening on the defense. So our center, for instance, just to walk us down like our responsibilities, our center is calling out the front. He's calling out the front. That's what his job is, and our guards are looking at the linebackers and their levels and seeing what they're doing, possibly for pressure for them, and then the tackles are communicating the safeties and reading the string is what we call it, is seeing where it's being pulled, if it's being pulled at all. So we're looking at the safeties as tackles.
So I'm actually kind of curious you know, because it's something that you kind of see a lot more in college football than you do see in the NFL. But what's how does the kind of how does the cadence quarterback cadence work when it's kind of more on a clap set as opposed to like the the set goes or the huts or something like that?
If I'm being honest, we practice it so much. It's kind of like obviously it's not the same thing, but it feels like almost kind of like the same thing. It's a ready rhino set hut. If he's back or if he's under center, it's ready rhino. I'm sorry, if he's back, he's ready rhino and then clap, and then ready rhino set hut if he's under the center. And if I'm being honest, it feels the exact same to us. Like it's just are that ready kind of like it tells us to like when to load up and like when to like prepare to get out of our stance. So it's a timing thing with the cadence. I feel like that's with every cadence. I feel like it's a big timing thing. So it feels really the same, to be honest with you.
And then have you played right tackle your entire career?
I played a little bit at left, a little bit. In college, it's all been right tackle. In high school, it was like I played a little bit of right guard and that was it. But I like touched at the left side a little bit, but it's not really where I'm comfortable, which I need to grow in. I want to be comfortable anywhere. But yeah, I've mainly played right tackle my whole career.
So is there that really big difference between playing on the left versus playing on the right as far as like, your first step back or what you're looking at as far as the defense is concerned?
For someone that's played on the right side and hit their entire career, there is a little bit of a difference for sure, but it's all really this predominantly the same thing. It's just mentally flipping it in your mind and your assignment in your mind. But for the most part, it's all the same thing. It's just being able to flip that in your head.
Hmm, okay. So we end up going to the 2025 season, and that one's a little bit lower than the other ones you've experienced, but, we're full-time starter now, we're starting all 13 games, although we
Yeah.
do have, a few injuries kinda going in between there. Was that kind of a hard transition going from Mad Dog over to Mad Max as far as, like, any cadence or just kinda operating the offense, or was it all just business as usual?
No, I feel like you said, it's all just business as usual. Our quarterbacks do a really good job at keeping the cadence the exact same throughout all of them, and especially those two. Those two were pretty dialed on keeping the cadence the exact same. Um, but no, I don't think there wasn't much of a difference at all.
And then the one game I do have to ask you about that season because there was a couple that I was at, but the one that particularly stood out to me was the one in San Diego in that heavy rainstorm when I was shuddering in the stands from being completely cold and wet. I'm sure it
Yeah.
was worse for you guys, but what was that kinda like just playing in that kind of down storm and then, 5 minutes later be completely clear? Because that was a pretty gritty game. That was all really based on mostly the run for the most part.
Yeah, for sure. Battling the elements is kind of a part of football. You know what I'm saying? I honestly feel like that game did show our mentality, like, going into it. Obviously, that one as well didn't turn out the way we wanted, but, we feel like, we didn't play to the level that we were, um, supposed to play, if that makes sense. But as it was really fun being able to play in the rain, though. The rain was a really fun thing. I wasn't cold at all. I know a lot of the guys, especially up front, we probably weren't cold at all. You know what I'm saying? We were running around, playing around, so it was really fun for us. But yeah, another big mentality piece too is establishing that game. I know for sure we were going to be establishing the run. Like we knew that we were going to establish the run early and often. So.
What do you prefer, playing in the rain or playing in the snow?
And the rain for sure. The rain for sure. The snow sucks. The snow is really cool. The rain for sure.
So, and then when I talk to people about it, Boise State is kind of mostly well-known college program, but it's not like on the super national scale well-known. What
Mhm.
are some of kind of the things that you think people should know about like attending Boise State as a student and then just playing there in general as a player? Like, what are kind of some of the selling points or things you would want to tell people about Boise State that they may not think of or know?
So as a student on campus, man, the campus life I feel like is really, really amazing. I feel like everybody is in Boise in general is really, really friendly and everybody is so you know what I'm saying, nice and talkative. You know what I'm saying? People want to come up and have conversations with you and sit down and chat and get to know you for the most part. I think that the campus life is really nice. And then as far as football and playing here, uh I can only speak for the football team is it's a big brotherhood, man. It's these are people that I'll be calling my brothers for the rest of my life, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of another thing that Coach D talks about and assures that you know what I'm saying, we had established this big brotherhood piece and established these connections with each other and be able to have these connections for the rest of our life. So um, there's a big brotherhood. It's a big brotherhood. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna know each other for the rest of our lives. So um, yeah. So it's a big brotherhood piece.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot actually, because I always see it, with besides you, like all the other players that I follow on the team, and like even if there's somebody transferring, be it Taylon or CJ or whoever else, like there's always just such a big outpouring of support and love, and that's kind
Yeah.
of really refreshing to actually see in the current landscape of what's going on. It's like, it doesn't matter if you were here, you're here, and you're bonded forever. Right? Is that kind of the mentality that you kind of see going, like it doesn't matter if you leave off for greener pastures, like we're still going to support you no matter what.
100%, yeah, and then I feel like in college football right now, it's very, very businessy, like, it's if you're not giving me X amount, then I'll see you later type thing, you know what I'm saying? And here, it's not that at all, like, here, it's not that. The guys we have are the guys we have, and the guys we have are gonna stay, and we know that it's a big thing for them to wanna grow as men as well. We all wanna grow as men and do that with each other, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's what I'm saying, I feel like is no dollar amount is gonna allow us to change us or something like that. Like it's not gonna we're not gonna leave for a dollar amount. Is what I'm saying. So, and I feel like that's what a lot of college football is today. Is people want to kind of if you're not paying me this much and it's time for me to go thing, and that's not at all what it is here.
That's actually a good segue because I was just going to ask, like, you kind of mentioned JUCO kind of being that really hard mentality, and you're there for the love of the game and grinding out, and there's not obviously there's no NIL based in JUCO, but you transition over to Boise State right around the time when NIL starting to pop off. Like, what was that kind of transition like, starting to deal with NIL and these sponsorships or deals or posts or whatever else, for the first time?
It's a new world, man. Honestly, it's super new. It's obviously a blessing, man. Of course, I know. Like I was speaking to a few of my uncles, and they were saying that when they were playing, this was you know what I'm saying this none of this ever was there, of course. But it's a blessing. It's a blessing. I'm very happy to be able to be in the position where I can play football and be financially okay for a little while. Um, so yeah, it's crazy because coming from JUCO, I was kind of relying on noodles and ramen noodles and financial aid money. So it's a bit different. It's a bit different, and I'm very thankful for it.
So when that kind of stuff comes up or comes in, is there like an advisor on campus? Is there like a class that you guys have? Like, how do they prepare you for that kind of influx coming in?
So that would kind of fall under Lou Major. He's a guy that helps us out with all that type of stuff like NIL and like just stuff outside of football. And we do have like they bring in financial advisors and people to help with like our taxes and stuff like that all the time. We actually just talked to I forget her last name, but her first name's Hillary. She goes around and she talks to a bunch of like NFL teams and different college football teams about their financials, and she's actually a financial advisor for sure. But actually we just had a lesson with her the week before we went on break. So yeah, we get talked to a lot by financial advisors, and we have a lot of help in that world as well with money. So
Hey, shout out Lou Major. He's actually
yeah.
yeah, when I first went to see my first game there, he actually was kind enough to hook me up with a pregame sideline pass, so I got to walk the sideline before the
All right.
game. So shout out
Yeah,
Lou
there you
Major, like
go.
that guy's
Shout
awesome.
out Lou Major. Yeah, he is awesome. Love him.
So and then let's see, what was the other thing I wanted to ask? Yeah. So and then I guess too, like so you get all that influx and everything coming in. So what it from Daylon's point of view, what is like your dream sponsorship that you would like to have someday?
My dream sponsorship. It's a great question. Maybe somewhere where I don't know. I'm a big fishing guy. I'm a big fishing
Oh,
guy. So maybe something to do with some fishing or maybe a boat or something like that. Like a boat company or something like that. That would be pretty cool.
hey,
That would be awesome. I think something to do with fishing for sure.
Bass Pro Chefs, hit my boy up in the DMs.
There you go. Yeah, please do.
Hey,
Yeah,
yeah, when you go back home, you just hit the one in Rancho Cucamonga, and then you're right there.
yeah, yeah. I'm right there next to it too. 30 minutes. Yeah,
So, so the 2025 season doesn't end, fully how everybody wants it, but it does end up in another great showdown with probably what's become one of our underrated rivalries, versus UNLV. And,
yeah,
there's that fit in, it's now infamous in Boise State culture is now the picture of, Coach D all shiesty up, high fiving you guys as you're walking
yeah,
in. What was that? What
yeah.
was that kind of experience like walking into that and walking into that game? Just
It was
seeing
great. It
that.
was great. It was so amazing, man. It set the tone. Set the tone for sure. Everybody, I feel like when we play UNLV, especially since the seasons that I've been here since 2024, is it's always been a thing where these guys aren't gonna win. Like these guys aren't gonna out football us. They're not gonna out football us, and we're gonna play football better than they are. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like with them, they're kind of like it's more of a chatter game, I think. This is me personally. This is my personal thing. It's more of a chatter game when we play UNLV. Like they like to chatter, they like to talk a lot. They're big talking guys. But we out football them every time, especially for the last 4 years. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's an amazing thing. I love it. I love being in them over and over again. So it's fun.
It's fun to watch, believe me, trust me.
It's fun to
Uh,
play in too.
so, and then, you kind of ended that season, with an injury. How's that going? How's the recovery going? You feel like you're slowly getting you back to almost 100% going in here. And what was that kind of like experiencing that for the first time and having to walk through that rehab process?
Yeah, so it sucked a lot when I first got injured, man. I was pooped. I was pooped for sure. I was happy that it did happen when it happened, though. I feel like when I got injured was probably the best time for me to get injured, if at all. So I was able to I missed out on the bowl game, but I was able to, what I'm saying, obviously get the surgery and everything. The surgery went really well. These past few months of rehab with Mikey, my guy Mikey, trainer, one of our trainers, did a great job. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling back better than ever. I feel like I'm a lot stronger. I am a lot stronger actually. A lot faster. I feel great, man. I feel great. It's about time. I'm almost pretty I don't think it'll ever be 100% again, but it's as good as it's gonna get, and what I'm saying, I'm ready to get back going. So
So what are you excited for heading into this new season? It's a new conference. It's the birth of the Pac-12. You're going to be playing a few more different teams this time than you usually do. You're going to be coming into the season as the second year as another starter on the offensive line again. Like, what are you most excited about heading into the 2026 season, and what are you hoping to improve on from last year?
so I'll start with the improvement. I'm hoping to improve just football side. I'm hoping to improve a lot of my feet, my footwork. I really want to improve that. And then I also want to improve my pad level as well, like we were talking about earlier. That's something that I really want to improve. And then what I'm hoping for the season, I'm excited for is just getting to play with my brothers again, man. Like it sucks. I love the off season for sure. We get to grind, and, what I'm saying, get better, and it's a tremendous piece of playing football in general is the off season. But what I'm saying, playing football obviously is like the most funnest part. Actually getting be able to play against another team. So I'm excited to just get back going, man. I want to play football. That's a big football guy. So that'll be the most part. And it really doesn't matter who we're playing against, man. It's just as long as we can play. Every game. And that's a side note. It's another thing Coach D always talks about is every game is us against us. We're playing Boise State every single week. So long as we can do those little things right and I'm saying stay within ourselves, it doesn't really matter who we're playing against. So
How excited are you to have Roger still on the team, being you and
Oh
him are
man,
basically gonna be the elder statesmen on the team with, Casey and Mason being gone.
yeah, that's my brother, man. Roger, big Raj, man. That's my brother. I'm super excited. He's a very knowledgeable football guy. He's a guy that I know I can go up and talk to about not only just football, in which he knows majority of every question that I need to ask, but I can go talk to him about life, man. He just had a baby. He's his first baby. And he's a dad now, you know what I'm saying? So super excited for him, man. I love Roger. He's a great dude. And I'm excited to play against him this last year. So I play with him. Sorry, play on side of him this last year. Yeah.
Ah, you're all good. So, I would s and then, let's see. I guess one of the other last questions I have would kinda be like, in that transition, because I've seen it. I was there at the game, at the alumni game. JUCO. It's kind of a really smaller crowd. It's still fans, but it's nothing compared to the FBS level. What was that kind of transition like? Kind of going from a JUCO athlete who maybe had like a small pocket of fans to all of a sudden playing in these big stadiums, not only your home stadium but all these other ones, and then all of a sudden Boise State's kind of a really big football town. What was that kind of like, having people not only knew who you are, but like constantly rooting for you, like in anything that you're doing?
Yeah, it surprised me. It surprised me a lot. And like you said, coming from like a very small pocket of people who came out to watch our games and like a very, very small fan base, which I really didn't have anybody who knew my name at all, really, like in the fans part of Mount Sac to now, like playing with like over 70,000 people watching. Like it's crazy. It really is crazy. And then I remember when somebody first came up and asked me for my autograph and knew my name, I was like, "What? You want my autograph?" You know what I'm saying? It's like it was a really big shock to me. It's amazing. I'm super blessed for it though. Like it's great. This is something I've always wanted. You know what I'm saying? So to play in front of that many people and that amount of people, I feel like it gets you juiced up. It gets you ready to go play for the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's amazing. I love it.
So besides Big Blue, what would you say is one of the other stadiums that you played in was like that would be one of your favorites?
Um, Notre Dame, iconic stadium. It's an iconic stadium. Not I obviously I hate the fact that we lost to them, you know what I'm saying? But that's an iconic stadium, you know what I'm saying? It's been there forever. And it's a blessing to be able to play there, blessing to be in a position to play there, you know what I'm saying? So Notre Dame, I think, was kind of like the wow, I'm playing in Notre Dame stadium, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Would you also say that was one of your favorite games that you played in, or do you have a different contender for that one?
Uh that one, I feel like that one was probably wasn't my favorite game. I think the playing in the Penn State game, 2024, the playoff game, that was probably one of my favorite games for sure. Yeah, that was probably one of my favorite games, yeah.
Okay. So I think we're coming close to our end here, but I like to end every interview by doing a set of questions here. One of my inspirations obviously was Hot Ones, trying to get the good research down and some interesting questions. But also inside the actor studio, they would do these great interviews with actors with some really in depth questions. So I just have like a set of closing questions here that I would like to run through with you and just get your off the cuff, like first answer that comes to your head.
Cool. Uh,
So, uh, what is your favorite word?
Favorite word?
Yeah.
Uh, you said off the cup, sorry.
It's okay.
I'm not sure. Dang. I say dang a lot, like dang. You know what I'm saying? I say that a lot.
What is your least favorite word?
uh, I'm I don't know if I really have a least favorite word. Um, I hate the word moist. I don't like that word. If it sounds really weird. Moist. Moist is my least favorite word.
What brings out your passion, or what turns you on?
Um, Fishing. Fishing does.
What turns you off?
Not fishing. Not being able to fish. Not being able to fish.
Right. And then we can go with this one, and you can say it. It's totally fine. What is your favorite curse word?
Damn. Yeah. I say damn a lot.
What kind of brings you peace? What levels you out?
Either fishing again or I like to go shooting as well. So going to the range, like I said,
What kind of riles you up?
football for sure. Football pregame,
So if you weren't doing this football thing, what job or career would you like to do?
firefighting for sure.
Well, where'd that passion kind of come from? Well, what is it about firefighting that is kind of a inspiration of yours?
Yeah. So I think just and that's kind of it kind of came up over like this past year actually, and it's kind of something that I've been wanting to do as of recently. I'm kind of thinking about after football, God forbid, you know what I'm saying, as a plan B, I don't get to where I want to go, which is obviously the NFL. Um, just planning for that and being up, still being able to be a part of something bigger than yourself. You know what I'm saying? Being a first responder, I feel like that would really fulfill that for me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not just here at home sitting around, chilling around, looking for 9 to 5 or something like that. I'd rather be, you know what I'm saying, out helping somebody. So yeah, firefighting is where I would want to go.
What job or career would you not like to do?
Anything that revolves sitting down forever, I don't want to do that. I want to stay active.
And then, if there is an afterlife, what would you like to first experience when you arrive?
um, well, I do believe there is an afterlife with Jesus, of course, Jesus Christ. So just being able to experience that with him is all that I would need. I feel like just being able to be go up to heaven with Jesus. I feel like that's all I would need. So yeah,
So,
that's what I would experience.
and obviously you're a young guy and you got so much longer to accomplish and do, but just for right now, maybe when you leave Boise State or the program behind, or just you as a person, what do you think is going to be the legacy that you'll leave behind?
The legacy that I think I would leave behind is somebody that came here and worked his butt off, man. I feel like that's like it's a little simple, it's a little broad, but I truly feel like I mean I came here and worked my butt off. Somebody who came from square zero to where I am now. I feel like it's crazy. It came somebody who came from having to drive 2.5 hours, 2 hours to in traffic every single day to just to get to practice every day. I feel like that kind of will attest to the legacy that I leave behind. Somebody who's willing to do what it takes to get to work.
And then finally, if you could share one piece of advice with the world, what would it be?
One piece of advice with the world, I feel like I would want to say just, you know what I'm saying, be positive, man. Love each other, love on each other. There's no need to be so angry at everybody all the time and just have so much anger. I feel like one piece of advice was prayer works. You know what I'm saying? Pray, talk to God. You know what I'm saying? Just have love, love one another, love thy neighbor. You know what I'm saying? As yourself. So I feel like just feel like that would be my advice to the world.
Couldn't have said it any better myself, ladies and gentlemen. That has been my guest, Mr. Big Lou Daylon Metoyer. Happy to have you on, man. I wish you all the best this coming season. I'm going to be watching, so I know you're going to
Yes,
kill it
sir.
out there.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for having me.